The New York Yankees have found a hidden gem on their roster, as this season they have done it again. They've brought in a guy who nobody really talked about, and now he has been turned into what looks like an elite option for this team going forward throughout this season, and we are going to break all of it down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, if you are part of that 72% that's not subscribed to Yankees Digest, this is the place to be for all New York Yankees content you do not want to miss out. But let's jump into the video. We have a lot to discuss as Brian Cashman has done it again. He's brought in a guy for the New York Yankees who is an absolute hidden gem for this team, who Yankees pitching coach Matt Blake has already begun to mold into an absolutely perfect player for this team, helping out the Yankees even further than before. As the Yankees, they have a potentially elite season upcoming in Fernando Cruz, who has been awesome for the New York Yankees thus far, as it all culminated in the last game that he pitched in, when Cruz against the Diamondbacks was absolutely phenomenal. He came in for 2 innings, got 4 strikeouts, and did not allow a single hit. And this is just more of what we've seen from Fernando Cruz, a guy who, when he was brought to the Yankees, was really looked at as a potential steal if the New York Yankees, behind Matt Blake, would be able to work Cruz out as someone who would help this team a ton, and we've already seen that begin to happen. Now, there's been a bunch of reasons why Fernando Cruz looks good for the Yankees right now. Now, he had a pretty rocky MLB career thus far. I mean, he had his moments, don't get me wrong, but Cruz, well, for his career, he has a 1.4 WAR with a 4.43 ERA in 143 games played. His WHIP for his career was 1.25 or 1.251, so not the greatest there. He has his moments. He does have a few moments that has shown that this potential was there as a breaking ball guy for Matt Blake to mold, and now we're seeing it work out exactly how Yankee fans could have hoped, even better than what Yankee fans could have imagined. As taking a look at Empire Sports Media's Alexander Wilson, he mentioned that last season, Fernando Cruz landed in the 99th percentile of both whiff and strikeout rate. That's not a typo. His splitter, which he threw nearly 48% of the time in 2023, produced a ridiculous .116 batting average and a .149 slugging percentage against. It's a pitch that lives in nightmares, as Wilson mentioned. And what are we seeing? We're seeing Matt Blake mold Fernando Cruz into a guy that's going to be a nightmare for teams to face. Now, we've seen this already. We've seen Cruz already start to show out. After a rocky spring training, he's gotten it together thus far. He had a 9.95 ERA with the Yankees in spring training with 2 losses to his name, but now things have gone a lot better after these 7 games, as we've seen him be great so far. I mean, he's made 2 outings with the Yankees, pitched 1 full inning where he didn't allow a run, and now 2 full innings where he didn't even allow a hit. So things are looking good for Fernando Cruz. And the New York Yankees, they traded Jose Trevino away for Fernando Cruz. They also got back Alex Jackson in the trade. Jackson probably won't see much of any MLB time, but we are seeing this with Cruz as a guy to be really aware of. Now, Trevino was an all-star with the New York Yankees once upon a time in 2022, but since then his numbers did start to go back down, and this season, in the 9 at-bats that he's had, he has a 2.2 or a .222 batting average. On top of that, an on-base percentage of 300, a slugging percentage of 222, an on-base plus slugging, an OPS of 552, and an OPS plus of 48. OPS average is 750, and OPS plus average is 100, so he's not giving much offense in these first couple at-bats, given it's just a few at-bats, so Trevi could bounce back theoretically. But he has been on a bit of a downturn recently, and the Yankees sold as high as they could and brought in a guy in Cruz who fits this team perfectly, and we've already seen that. And again, it goes back to this guy. It goes back to Matt Blake and all he's done for the Yankees with his newest project in Fernando Cruz. And look, when it comes down to it, in 2024, the Yankees asked Fernando Cruz to lean into that weapon even more, that splitter. Against the Arizona Diamondbacks on Tuesday night, Fernando Cruz threw 22 pitches across 2 innings. 51.4% of them were splitters. The result, 4 strikeouts and a Diamondbacks lineup flailing at what seems like they were swatting mosquitoes in a summer storm. So clearly, we know that Alexander Wilson likes his similes. But on top of that, you look at Fernando Cruz, and this is phenomenal for the New York Yankees. I mean, we've seen Matt Blake do this before. This is not a new thing for Matt Blake to show up and just mold pitchers into much better than they were before he got there, especially breaking ball guys. And Cruz was an elite breaking ball guy, and the Yankees basically said, hey, we know how you got 3 pitches, but here's the thing. We want you to throw 1 pitch. We want you to throw your best pitch. And we want you to do that often. And the reasoning behind this actually does make sense. He's a relief pitcher. He's not a starter who's got to mix it up. He's a reliever. He's not going to face the same guy twice. So once he's past one guy, he's not going to see him again that game. So Cruz, if he's throwing that splitter and it's leading to those 1.11 batting averages and 1.49 sluggings, well, then clearly that's the pitch you should throw. Throw it half the time. That's completely fine. Mix it up with another pitch, and then you're good. As a reliever, you don't need that many pitches to throw. It's not like Mariano Rivera was throwing a million different pitches either. It was mainly that cutter. So you find what works, and if you're a reliever, you hammer it out. And that has been what Matt Blake has done with the New York Yankees thus far, and it's worked out really well. We've seen multiple different relievers show up and be their best selves on the New York Yankees. It's one of the reasons why the Yankees brought back Adam Ottavino, is because he could move that ball around well. So they believe in Matt Blake being able to handle it, being able to be the guy who can get things done for the New York Yankees. Now, Cruz, again, it's an interesting situation with a guy in Fernando Cruz who's 35 years old as well. It's not like he's this young guy coming up. He's had an MLB career, and for the most part, it hasn't been that good. When we acquired him, I think a lot of Yankee fans were like, what's the point of getting this guy? Some random relief pitcher? That's all we could get for Jose Trevino? But nope, there was a plan. There was a plan in place by Brian Cashman, who believed in Fernando Cruz and, more importantly, believed in Matt Blake to mold Fernando Cruz into this guy. And that's why they have Cruz throwing the splitter over half the time that he's pitching, because it's what matters. What matters is doing your job the best way possible. And the Yankees are taking this approach of, we don't need you to throw 4 pitches. We don't need you to waste your time not throwing your best pitch. Now, with the starters, it's completely different. But when it comes to your relievers, you got Fernando Cruz in there for an inning or two. He faced 6 guys. It's not like he was going to face multiple guys again. So where the New York Yankees are at right now, I love this move. And clearly what we're seeing is the New York Yankees loving Fernando Cruz. Already 2 games pitched. He's going to be a guy that Aaron Boone's clearly going to turn to a lot in a lot of situations. Now, Cruz pitched well, but that doesn't go to be the case for the entire Yankees bullpen against the Diamondbacks. The Yankees lost their first game of the season against the Diamondbacks because their relief pitchers could not hold it down. Mark Leiter Jr. and Tim Hill both combined to give up some runs, and the game was 7-4, ends in 7-5, but the New York Yankees just didn't do enough with their relievers to get the job done, and they want to make a point that they have a great bullpen. And if Fernando Cruz is going to keep pitching like this, he can very quickly become the feature guy out of the bullpen. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Devin Williams is out on paternity leave right now, so he won't be gone for too long, but he is out right now on that. So you come down to things and you look at it, there's a real chance that we're going to start seeing Fernando Cruz be that pure 8th inning setup guy. And if Luke Weaver pitched a night or 2 before and they don't want to throw him again, Cruz is going to step into some save situations. Now, obviously, this all depends on how long Williams is out for. If Williams is out for 3, 4, 5 games, then we probably won't see him in a save situation. Maybe we'll see Cruz in 1. But if not, he'll be the second in command for that closing job if Luke Weaver just isn't going to be available for a night. So this is going to be really interesting to see. I'm super excited to see if Cruz can hold this up for the entirety of the season, but right now, looks like a complete hidden gem. Guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Yankees.